Hi. Just waiting for some people to trickle in, but I just thought I'd do a kind of look back over the Wii U kind of reveal, and maybe even the Switch reveal as well, before the kind of Switch 2 gets kind of officially announced, because that's expected to happen really, really soon. So I figured it would kind of be interesting to look back over kind of what's kind of come before, you know? Sorry, YouTube's just moaning at me about something. The comparison of streams failed because one of the streams has an invalid in configuration. I don't do live streaming very often. Can you tell? I don't know what that means, but it seems to be on, so I'm just going to carry on. So yeah, like I said, the Switch 2 reveal is expected to be pretty darn imminent, actually. So in terms of like, I mean, VGC are reporting that it's going to happen as soon as this week. So I figured it would be a good idea to kind of look back over how Nintendo kind of pitched their consoles in the past ahead of them doing it for the Switch 2. So I'm going to look back at the Wii U in this live stream at least, and maybe I'll do the Switch announcement kind of later this week, maybe, depending on how this goes. But yeah, VGC reported earlier today that basically the Switch 2 is expected now to be announced officially on Thursday, January the 16th. So yeah, like I mentioned, kind of ahead of that, I thought I'd just go and take a look at what Nintendo kind of said way back in like 2011. So I've pulled up the video here, and I'm just going to go through it and like pause as kind of go through it and just going to comment on it. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so I guess we just get on with it, you know. I think looking back on this, it's going to be pretty bad, but we'll see. We'll see. So let's go. So weird opening where they're kind of just someone walking into a room.
Hey, it's time to watch some baseball.
Hey, it's time to watch some baseball. Very stilted kind of delivery on that line, I thought. Kind of weird. And the first shot is somebody playing a game that just looks like a regular Wii game. You know, this looks like New Super Mario Brothers. I mean, all those games look the same, but yeah, this is the first shot of like their new hardware reveal, and it's someone saying, "I want to watch baseball,"
Okay.
which is fine, I guess. But
And a runner on second. Hernandez is on the mound, and here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
okay, that's actually pretty funny. Swing and a miss. Yep, that's the Wii U, all right. I don't know. I just thought that was quite amusing. But then we get that kind of first look at the controller there. And that is kind of interesting because the first thing they've shown us is this gamepad thing, which, you know, could be exciting if you don't know what it is.
Miss. 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
Switch from the TV to the new controller. That is how Nintendo decided to pitch this new device. It's interesting that the word Switch is the first thing there, but hey, they call it the new controller, not the new console, which is just kind of, I mean, I know this has kind of been treaded over like a million times, but looking back on this now, I know people said that there was a lot of confusion there, but yeah, when this is, you know, we're 30 seconds into this trailer, we've asked somebody wanting to use the TV, and then new controller. So, not new console. And then again, we're not seeing the console. You know, they're reiterating that this is the new controller. And the game, you could be mistaken for thinking this is a Wii game. Okay, and then they switch to something that is, I guess, moderately interesting in terms of it's actually showing a new use case for this device, which is pretty cool. But again, controller. Draw on the new controller. It's okay. This is kind of cool because it's showing a different use case. But again, like, I don't know. Kind of comparing this to the Switch now is just kind of wild how much of a half step the Wii U was to what the Switch is, and kind of it's so clear looking back that they wanted the Switch to be this basically. Sorry, they wanted to do the Switch with this, but they couldn't quite get there in terms of the technology. So it's such a half step, and obviously that half step just did not resonate because, yeah, they didn't communicate it well enough at all. And yeah, like you say in the chat, Christian, the hardware kind of had a cheap feel to it. I mean, people called this the kind of Fisher Price tablet, didn't they, when it was first announced? Um, they didn't communicate it well at all. Again, new controller. They haven't once said this is a new machine. It's wild. Kind of look back at this, how, people joke about that, but I think it was right. And again, okay, we're getting shown Wii Sports. There's no indication here that this is a new machine because they're showing old games, old Mario game, old Wii Sports game. I don't know. Really going in hard on the stuff that you already know. And I get that because, the whole kind of blue ocean strategy with the Wii paid off for them, and they had a whole new audience of people who were very much in the casual kind of category. So reiterating that, yeah, you can still play these games that you love from your Wii on this Wii U thing was this kind of what they were thinking, at least. But in terms of, you got to remember, this is E3 when this was, the presentation was at E3 2011. So in terms of who you're talking to and who your addressable market is there, you're talking to your core audience. Like hardcore gamers are the people who tune into E3, not the grandma at the nursing home who bought a Wii to play Wii bowling, So in terms of who you're speaking to at these events, it feels a bit odd to just kind of hammer home that, yeah, it's still got your Mario and your Wii Sports. Nice kind of feature here, kind of showing off some of the gimmicks, Again, with this, but we see a Wiimote. So, I mean, this shot here does actually show the hardware in that. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I don't think you can actually. But yeah, we can see it here up next to the TV. And yes, it's the Wii U. It's got those kind of curved edges, where the Wii was a bit more kind of angular. But it's so kind of far in the background there, you wouldn't know it for looking. Unless you're kind of really paying attention. But and I can't believe how much they kind of hammer home this new controller message. It's like, it's not just a new controller, it's a new piece of hardware. I mean, I get it. The USP of this whole console is the controller, and that is what makes this unique. But in terms of how you deliver the message, Nintendo just had a real miss here, actually, looking back on this. Sports. Okay. Again, they're showing Wii Fit, which is a Wii game, not a Wii U kind of experience at its heart, at least. So I think here it's just really, really muddying the water of like, what is this? It's kind of cool that you can play it without, having the TV and stuff, but you do need to be at home. So free from TV. So does that mean I can play it without turning on a console? Is this the console? It's really confusing. Again, this is poor gaming. You're showing them this sort of wacky stuff. It just feels a bit wacky. And I think the thing with the Wii U is that, it's a novel idea because, it's the whole kind of dual screen strategy that worked for them with the DS, isn't it? And kind of translating that to the TV. But in terms of actually how they ended up using it, I think even Nintendo themselves, who are usually really, really good at utilizing their kind of core gimmick or core kind of innovation for their consoles, didn't really hit the mark much with the Wii U. I mean, a lot of the experiences are really unique. Like Nintendo Land actually has some really fun moments in it. So there is some stuff there, but for the most part, I don't think they actually utilize the kind of core dual screen thing to much extent. Oh look, you can use a gun to point it at Miyamoto in the window. It's a bit odd. It's fun. Funny moment. Play across the new controller and your TV. So again, the console isn't mentioned. Kind of throwing ninja stars, but oh, actually, we do get a look at the console there again. If you can see it in the kind of bottom corner here, but the kind of industrial design is very, 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 very similar to the Wii. So this kind of Wii U HD model doesn't look much different there, and it doesn't help either in terms of like what you were saying about the hardware just now, that it uses the exact same kind of color scheme and like user interface. It doesn't differentiate itself in any other way to kind of separate it from, oh, this is a new thing. Make video calls with a new controller. This was kind of a thing, wasn't it? I mean, you have to remember, like, during this period, like, these machines were trying to be all things to everybody. I mean, the Xbox One notoriously kind of spent half of their E3 press conference back then talking about kind of how you can use it as a DVR and like a TV guide and a web browser and like order a pizza on it and stuff like that. And I guess they're just kind of leaning into this. It's kind of like FaceTime was a thing, you know? Let's do that here too. Why not? And in terms of the audience that they're showing, again, they're not showing any kind of core gamer. This is E3. This is where you need to kind of show gaming experiences, in my mind at least. I mean, but E3 is dead now, so what does it matter? Oh yeah, there he is. That dog looks really, really thrilled to be there, doesn't he? He's like, kill me. Browse with a new controller. Okay, yeah, I just mentioned web browsing, so it's a very weird niche way to web browse the web, isn't it? Like moving that along to... Did anyone ever do this? I mean, I sure didn't. I had a Wii, but like a Wii U rather. Even I'm doing it. I don't think I ever used the browser function on it, but yeah. Another thing, actually, just looking at the controller here, is obviously this was when it was announced back in 2011, and it has those kind of circle pad controllers here, which isn't what they ended up using with the final hardware, obviously. So this was early, but share from the new controller to the TV. So more lifestyle shots, really. The acting there was kind of hilarious. I mean, look at these people reacting. Oh, they're having a good time. It feels really kind of forced. Get more detail with the new controller. Now, that could mean so many different things, couldn't it? In terms of what more detail. I mean, essentially it means higher fidelity, I imagine, with it being a HD system, because the Wii wasn't. But again, they mentioned... Actually, that's... Yeah, look at that. Get more detail with the new controller. First thing we see is a TV. No controller. The marketing on this is really weird in terms of how they... I don't know, like, you get 3 minutes. This trailer's what, 3.5 minutes to kind of pitch this machine to the world. And yeah, they've shown some kind of unique gameplay experiences throughout this, but none that are kind of overly compelling to the audience they're trying to reach at this event. And it's also been really, really confusing because it's talked about the new controller, the new controller, the new controller. I mean, literally, I mean, get more detail with a new controller. But the detail is up on the screen right here. So it's not the new controller. Unless, I mean, I don't know. They're talking about HD gameplay, right? Because we're getting this lovely HD gameplay of Link in this thing here. And there we get more detail on the second screen. So, I mean, I've been talking about how throughout this, you know, they're trying to reach the core kind of gamer, and this right here is what you open with, right? Like, if you're trying to reach this kind of core gamer kind of demographic at E3, then you open with the brand new look at a cool HD kind of Link Zelda experience, not here's some Wii Sports and a Mario game that looks the same as one from 5 years ago. I don't know. And finally, you're kind of seeing a novel kind of dual screen use of this tablet controller here by, I mean, I say novel, this is what most people did with it. It was inventory management or maps, wasn't it? Although this player was cool, actually. I know nothing ever came of it, but coming to your living room in 2012. That's the new controller coming to your living room in 2012. Again, no mention of new hardware. The whole trailer, not once has it said this is a new machine. It has said new controller. And then the final shot of this whole trailer doesn't show the console. Again, we just get to look at this Fisher-Price tablet. One of those things. I mean, you. Because it's, you know, me and you and me. So, Wii U. So yeah, that's it. That's how they opened the kind of show at E3 in terms of showing off this new piece of hardware. And it starts off with someone kind of barging in and demanding to view the television. Someone showing you an old-ass Mario-looking game.
Time to watch some baseball.
But like,
okay.
At a glance, you would easily confuse that for a Wii title. And then we kind of see the, I mean, yeah, the console actually is in this first shot as well. But again, like, it's not enough, is it, to kind of sell you on the fact that this is a new console? And I think looking back at this, and obviously I think I'm going to later this week look at the original Switch reveal as well, which did a much, much better job, in my opinion, of communicating what the actual machine was about. Um, I don't know if it was just because, like, Nintendo's back was up against the wall essentially with the Switch, that they had to get it right. And with the Wii U, they had such a big success with the Wii, a huge success. But those people who brought the Wii and made it a success aren't the sort of people who go out and immediately buy the follow up. There are people still today playing Wii Fit on their original hardware from 2006. So that kind of blue ocean strategy helped them, but in terms of getting them to move on to the next thing, it didn't kind of pan out for them. And it's interesting because the Switch has been this kind of best of both worlds in terms of reaching a core audience with the kind of what, well, I mean, we'll see it in the Switch trailer, won't we? In terms of it reaching that kind of core demographic of gamers, but also reaching out to kind of like families and kids and stuff like that. Yeah, it just feels like really misguided in terms of like
And a runner
looking
on
back at
second.
this, and it is hilarious. It's
Hernandez
a
is
swing and
on
a
the
miss.
mound, and here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 98 mile per hour.
Yeah, that was the Wii U trailer from E3 2011, and yeah, I gotta say, like, looking back on it, I mean, obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing and all of that, but looking back on it, it does kind of stink as a trailer because they had 3 minutes to kind of pitch it to you, and all they did was talk about new controller, new controller, new controller. It's not a new controller for your Wii, it's a whole new system, new hardware. They didn't say it once. I just find that baffling. Um, but yeah, like I said, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and we are now like days away from. Oh, my browser's locked up on me. Cool. We're now days away from the Switch 2 being a thing. So pretty exciting actually in terms of where we are right now because yeah, Switch 2 weekly is, days away from being a thing. I mean, no, I'm not renaming it to Switch 2 weekly. That would be insane. But yeah, I just thought it would be fun to kind of go back, look at this kind of original trailer and just kind of go over what a misstep it was, I guess. Yeah, let me know what you think about this trailer, and looking back on it, it's easy to slag it off, isn't it? But even at the time, I think a lot of people were like, "What is this thing?" So yeah, I'll do the Switch reveal tomorrow or the day after, in the next couple of days, ahead of the Switch 2 official reveal, whenever that is. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank you for watching, and peace.